pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, can we have a roll call, please?
Luke Jefferson,
Yes.
Margaret Woods,
Yes.
Jeanette Gibson,
Yes.
Louise
Present.
Brown,
Yes.
and Jocelyn Harris.
Yes.
All right. All right, so we reviewed a case last month. It's case 2024-0011 for A&B Systems Enterprises LLC at 17 Davenport Avenue in Dayton. This is a conditional use permit for a group home. We tabled the case at the last meeting so we could have further time to investigate the situation. I guess we're going to go over the stuff that we found. Are we going to watch it? Do we have a video we can watch?
Brittany, do you want to give her an overview?
Yeah, is there any additional information that you have that was not present at the last meeting?
Yeah, so.
Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and hear that now. I need to swear you in.
All right.
Can you state your name, please?
Brittany Appleberry?
And you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth of this Board of Zoning Appeals?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so from our last meeting, since our last meeting, we was able to get a petition from our neighbors that's currently in the area that we're currently at with the group home, basically stating that they will be okay with us allowing us to have another group home in a different area. Also, with this petition, it was stating that the girls are doing what they're supposed to do inside of the area, no disruptions. Are the girls like following the rules, regarding like the police calls as well too. We was able to get 7 signatures, and that's majority of everybody that's on the street of 1525 Tennyson where we currently reside at. Also too, I know it was some information from the neighbors regarding areas about the home, about parking. I did bring a picture of the home as well too, and I brought pictures of the neighbors' homes as well too. I wanted to say that when I rode past the area, majority of the houses over there are in good condition. The only bad condition is this current home, which is the apartment that we purchased. I'm not sure, but I know when Miss Gibson had came by, she also visited the group home as well too. She was able to meet with the girls. She was able to look around the home as well too. So I'm pretty sure she was able to give you guys a report. And then also too, I did bring some support people with me as well. I do have my licensed social worker with me, my program director. I also have a participant of the kids that was going to like a beauty class every weekend. I did bring her. I have my clinical director. And then also too, I have, far as you know, an owner of our house as well too that's here present.
Are any of those pictures up on the slideshow, or are these all different?
No, these, I just took a picture of this because they was complaining about parking. We have our own parking area
Right in
as
front of the
well.
place.
And I brought pictures as well too. We did a field
Yeah, we did a field trip. You can pass them on.
Yeah, we'll
We did
pass them
not.
on. Okay. And then, Karen, can you show them the video? Are you, trying to get my phone to shut off. There we go. There we go.
So it's the home that's up here, is the home up here the location in Huber Heights, I believe, or Dayton?
No, this location is, in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
It's on Tennyson off of Cornell.
Okay. Thank you.
And Luke, she's asked if we could show the video of the girls.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are you from? What county are you from? All right, and can you tell me how long have you been in A&B Sisterhood? I've been here since 2023? 2024. All right, and can you tell me your experience here at A&B Sisterhood?
I like it. All the staff is very supportive. When I first got here, I was like not myself, and it made me get my confidence back to be able to do the things that I want to do. If I need help with anything, they're always there and supportive. That's pretty much it.
And how many group homes have you been in?
I've been in 4 different.
Is this the longest group home you ever been in?
Um,
No? Okay. What do you see that's different from our group homes and the other group homes?
that the staff like bigger, and that they're like more supportive than other group homes. If something was to be going on, that like they wouldn't let the other kids be in the same room or like area where it's switching because people have different triggers and they try to work out. So everybody different.
If you can give us, if you have 5 stars to give, A&E Sister Group Home, if the rating is up to 5 stars, how many stars would you give us? 5. All right, thanks, Jazzy.
Hi, my name is Miss J. I'm a staff member here at A&B Sisterhood. I've been here for 6 months now. My experience here has been real great. I love the group of girls that we have. I love our management. I love our communication skills. I love our outings. It's been great. Like, I wouldn't trade this job for anything.
And where are you from?
Columbus, Ohio.
All right, and what are you thankful for this year?
To be out of residential and to be here and to be with people that care about me
And where are you at?
and just to really be home.
And what do you like about A&E Sisterhood compared to other group homes that you currently been in?
I like that they give you second chances. I like that they actually care about you and they don't get it for you fast than other group homes. I like that it was instant and that you keep better only here and I just got the group home. And
So you feel it's more, it feels like more homey here?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And if you could recommend us, would you recommend?
yeah,
Yes, okay. All right. Thank you, Serenity.
yeah.
So, can you tell me what are you thankful for this year?
I'm thankful for all the things you've done for us this year
And what
and
else
taking me in this year.
will take you in this year? And where are you from?
Columbus,
Columbus. And you're placed inside of a group home?
yeah,
And what group home are you in?
A&E Sisterhood,
And can you tell me what do you like about A&E Sisterhood? Or,
that they give you love that you never had before.
and what else?
And everything that you do.
Okay. And if you had a chance to go to like another group home, you wouldn't? Yeah, why not? You might be. Okay. And what do you want for Christmas?
You don't we all? Be truthful.
Thank you, Jada. And where are you from? How do you feel about A&E Sisterhood?
I feel like this is where one of the best group homes in that group homes in Dayton
Do you know why?
because they treat you better than other group homes.
And what do you mean by treat you? Like, what do we do?
Because they take off our items and stuff like that and they treat us like their own kids.
And if you could pick anywhere else to go, where would you go?
Nowhere.
Alright. Thanks, JD.
Hi guys, my name is Malaysia. I was recently in Franklin Township Services in the 2023, and I just want to say that A&B Sisterhood is definitely the group home that you would want to place one of your girls or your kids at. It's a very caring place. I didn't have no issues. My time being there with Miss Brittany and Miss Angie Like, they make sure they stay on you about your school, about your grades. They'll help you get a job if you want to get a job. Anything, like, they help you succeed in life and to be the kid that you built to be. So I hope y'all really recommend giving them name in the building, because I loved it there and I still love it. Hi, my name is Sanaya. I would 100% recommend A&B Sisterhood Group Home because it's a good group home. They love you, they care about you, and you know they patient with you. You know they don't just try to kick you out as soon as you do something like any other group home. It's not just a check to them. Like, you know, I really loved it there. I was there for a long time. Only reason I had to leave is because of me. I was appreciated for everything they done for me, and I recommend it. Period.
All right, thank you.
So, Ms. Hunt, can you speak to that? Sorry.
Good evening to all of you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
Can you
sorry.
state your name, please?
Sonia A. Hunt.
Sonia, and can you, you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth of this Board of Zoning Appeals?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I am Dr. Sonia Hunt, and I serve as the social worker at the home. And I think I started in July of 23. July of 23. In a moment of transparency, so I've been a mental health clinician, and I've worked primarily with children for 40 plus years, a long time. So I'm coming down the mountain of my career. But one thing that I am grateful for is that the home uses a strength-based perspective. You get children with adverse circumstances, with a whole lot of trauma. But we don't see what they've done, we see what they can be. And it is my honor to be able to serve there. All of the young ladies that are there have been there for a while. And it's not that, you know, they don't have issues with what they've experienced. Yes, they're gonna have some. But for not just Brittany and Miss Andy to be able to embrace them, everyone that they have come, have to have a certain regard for the children. I've been a lot of places, and I've seen a lot of things. But the fact that you have young people who come and who feel that they belong. We know that children who have experienced foster care, 80% of them are criminalized later in life. And our goal is to prevent that from happening. This is not a business, let me say that. It's not, it can't be. When you have precious lives in your hand, you have to embrace them as family, and that's what we do at A&B. They're not just children from an agency, they're our children. And one thing that absolutely stands out are the birthday parties. When people know that they belong, you get better outcomes, and that is our desire. That in the next 5, 10, 20 years, that they will be productive citizens of our community and not in a jail cell or with a criminal record. So I am asking that you strongly consider, and like I said, we are all involved on a very intimate level, an extremely intimate level. We have staff, as myself, who are on call 24/7, 365 to deal with whatever issues that may come up. And I know that you all will find that we will be a vital part of this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So residential is a lockdown facility. The kids are not able to leave the facility. They are supervised 24/7, but it's a lockdown facility. These are for kids with trauma-based of self-harm, or mental health issues as well too. When these kids are released from residential, they are either placed inside of a group home, and if they do good inside of a group home, they are placed inside of a foster home. However, majority of all our kids are coming from agencies. So it depends on the kid's behavior, and it goes off basically like the staff inside of the home. And we would do incident reports if we see any like types of behaviors going on. And it all depends on like the kids. And then the caseworker will reach out to a residential facility and try to see, you know, if these kids are able to go inside of this facility, and then they will remove them either from foster home, group home, or from the courts and send these kids to residential. However, group homes, it's a step down. So it's foster homes. Foster homes are for like low rated like kids, so they're like around like more families. And then also too, we have group homes, so we're like in the same direction, far as you know, with these kids as well too. So for instance, if you have a kid that comes in and they send us an ICA, they send an ICA to either a foster parent and they send an ICA to a group home. And then they basically go off of, if the foster home doesn't select the kid, then they move forward to the group home. But it's the same thing as having a kid from a group home inside of a foster home as well. So that's the difference with that. All right.
Thank you. Karen, for the sake of redundancy, since we have some new members and it's been a few weeks, remind us again why group homes require a variance with the BZA.
Well, the reason that we're here tonight is because it is a group home. They are required.
The group homes are required to come before the BZA board. So, so basically what we're doing is you are, if you grant the appeal, you will be granting the conditional use of that land to be turned, that apartment building that they have purchased. I have seen the drawings of what they're wanting to do. I have actually spoken to the contractor, and if the board approves it, then they will have the clearance to go ahead and start remodeling that building. But all group home have to come before you guys. Now,
Is the reason that the group homes have to have a conditional use permit is because of the nature of what it is in a residential area?
yes, yes. And the other thing that I just want to make sure everybody knows, that at the trustee meeting, the group homes, they have here in Jefferson have put a moratorium on, but it will be for 6 months, so that will go till May 20th. But this meeting had already been in play, so that's why we're going ahead with it. Okay, so just so you guys know.
Were we given any information as to why there was a moratorium on group homes?
No, they didn't. They really didn't. I don't remember. Did they go in executive session for that? I don't think they did. But I think part of it too is for one of the projects that I'm working on is to try to track down to see exactly how many group homes that we do have out here in Jefferson Township. Until we know that for sure, we wanted to put a stop until I know. One of the jobs that I will be doing is I will be along with the fire chief, because they have to do their fire inspections and all that. I will also be doing an inspection, and I'm required to do that every year.
Okay.
Okay.
It's also my understanding that the city of Dayton has also put a moratorium on group homes.
That is correct.
Is there anyone who knows why that's the case? I wasn't able to get any information from the city of Dayton.
That I do not know. I think Harrison Township also has a moratorium on.
Okay. I think that information would be helpful.
Yeah.
In this case, I was not personally able to track down any information as to why. All right. Do we have anyone else here tonight who would like to speak to this matter? I believe you're here at the last meeting, correct? Okay, go ahead and state your name, please.
Ashley Smith.
Ashley, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, this board of zoning appeals? Thank you.
board members, I came in front of you again today to address my concerns. I brought my concerns to you last month regarding drugs being distributed in very close proximity to where the home will be, the number of drug addicts that will be walking up and down the streets daily, as well as the number of deceased bodies over the last few years that have been found within our plat. One being in the apartment complex just behind this property. Among the most recent being a young girl found deceased in the car wash just across the street, just about a month and a half ago. I spoke to you about the nuisance of teenage boys roaming up and down the street on dirt bikes and four-wheelers all day long, with concerns of young girls being added to the street, only making this worse. We discussed the concerns my fellow neighbors and I have for increased traffic and blocking of public roads, as well as in front of our personal properties. Among the surrounding school districts along with the surrounding school districts in the area all being in failing status. Dayton Public, Jefferson Township, and Trotwood Madison are among the three in the bottom rankings of Ohio's failing districts. As time goes on, I have more and more concerns about how this group home could affect our community, not only for those of us in the community, but the girls that will be participants in the home itself. There are over 750 registered group homes in Ohio. Montgomery County, as of 2024, is home to 1/3 of all of those homes. Adding another group home to the county will only place the already strained county into distress. Law enforcement and court resources will be further strained, as well as an increase in concerns for health and safety of the individuals involved. There are 10 missing juveniles in Montgomery County. 5 from Dayton, 3 from Trotwood, 1 from Harrison Township, and 1 from Centerville. All of these areas are within close proximity to where this home will be located, rising further concerns. There are 8 registered sex offenders 1 block up the street on 3rd Street. 5 of their victims of the 8 offenders were minors. And those are only the ones that have been compliant and registered with the county. These offenders are within walking distance of these girls and where they are to live. There's already a sober living home on Lansdowne just the next street over, which is a moot point because it's directly diagonal from a known drug house. You can't take someone trying to get better and place them next to the vice that they are fighting against and believe they will succeed. This is the same concern for these girls in this home. They are pulled away from awful environments for a better one, only that's not what they will find in this area. It is not conducive to a nurturing environment for them to heal and grow. When I received this letter about the proposal for a group home next to my property, I could not think of any reason as to why this would be a good idea. I have grave concerns if these girls are brought to this community. I don't understand the reasoning other than the saturation of group homes in their current community to the want to develop a facility in this community. I assume due to low property costs, but then again, when you consider all that I've tried to bring to your attention, I don't think I need to explain why they are so low as low as they are. I hope that you will consider my concerns and do what is in the best interest of the potential individuals of this group home. They could be well served elsewhere. I thank you for your time and your consideration.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many other children live on this street?
So I have 3 myself.
Okay.
There are further down Davenport, I know there's several, I don't know the number. On Lansdowne, there's several children, but, I mean, here lately, I haven't seen hardly any of them since these teenage boys have kind of run rampant. I've called, neighbors have called, we've all tried to address it with the city or the law enforcement to get it handled, and nothing happens.
With all due respect, if you yourself are raising children on this street, but you don't feel it's a good environment for children,
I don't want my children here. I'm doing my best to get
and
out of here.
that's fair. It's just something that we have to take into account.
That's fine, but I'm mean, those of us that have kids here don't want them here. We do our best to come here, build ourselves up, and get out.
What would you like to see happen to the property next to you?
I don't care what happens to it. I don't care if it's turned into an apartment complex or if people buy it and redo it as a house for themselves. I just don't think it's a conducive environment to put children that are being pulled away from hardship to be placed right next to all of these hardships that are over here. There are several places around Dayton that they could be well served elsewhere. I just don't understand why this would be a good and conducive environment for them.
Thank you. Ladies, any questions?
I just want to say I did do a field trip, and I just see where the home would improve rather than to break down.
Do you have
Because
any questions for?
no,
Ashley.
no, that's all I have to say.
I have a question. So there are several children that live on Davenport. You've called the police. Do they come out? How do they
I
respond?
see them circle around every now and then, but nothing's ever done about it. I mean, these boys run rampant all day and all night on these dirt bikes.
So that's
I mean,
a
it's not
police
an
problem.
uncommon thing. They cross over Third Street, come back over to Jefferson Township side. It's just, it's a back and forth all day long.
So are they damaging property or
There's
robbing or?
accidents and things, yeah.
Actually, I mean, is there actual criminal activity that's arrestable? Like, are they stealing? Are they engaging in the drug dealing?
I mean, they're disrupting people's property, tearing up their property, dumping out their trash cans, and messing with things that are in people's yards, yeah.
Do your children, or the children on your street, say in the summertime, do they play outside? Do they play in the backyard?
My kids are never left outside, myself or my husband are out there.
Well, yeah, but I think that's everywhere. When your children are outside, someone needs to be out there with them. 'Cause that's the world we live in now. So, when your children do play outside with you, which is good, what is the atmosphere like in your yard?
I've had several drug addicts and different people walk into my yard and walk up to myself or my husband wanting money, this or that. I mean, there's been several instances where I've rushed my kids in my house.
Okay, I have another question for the ladies. Are these children that you are raising, that you are saving, do they play outside? Are they allowed to walk up to the store? I don't know if there's a close store in Tennyson.
Yeah, so they do come with unsupervised time, but they will ask permission. Now, however, like the area that we live in, South Cornell, it's the same area as this one.
Pause for a second. If there's no further questions for her.
Oh.
Okay,
No.
you're free. Yeah. All right, you may resume, sorry.
Okay. So the girls that live on Cornell, it's the same, I'm sorry, it's the same area as where we're trying to put a group home at as well. Do the girls go outside? Sometimes they do, from kids, because that's what kids do. They go outside and play, right? Also, too, the neighbors next door, she has a big pool outside, a huge pool. So, you know, if you have kids and if you don't feel safe, why would you put a pool outside your house? But again, like the kids are supervised. Now, we do feel like the kids are in an unsafe area. For instance, it was a store that was a bad store that a lot of drug addicts hang out at. We don't allow our kids to go to the store. We'll take our kids to the store ourselves. And this will help prevent for us not our kids being placed at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Thank you. Sir, do you want to step on up? You state your name, please.
My name is Brandon Bridges.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to this Board of Zoning Appeals?
I do.
Thank you.
So I just really want to speak about the kids. I never see kids out. I don't have kids. I don't have children. I have 2 dogs. That's my kids. The only kids I see are the teenagers that Ashley was talking about. You know, they're running rampant, call the cops, cops do a drive-by, whatever, steal their bikes, whatever. But as far as like kids go, like even in the summertime, like I might see her and her kids out twice a month, if that, mostly. Me and my wife, we just work and come home, we go outside. I have a pool that is no longer in use, and so just want to speak about the kids. I never see kids. The only two kids I see are pretty much, I think the boys closer to 16, 17, maybe even 18 years old at this point. But as far as like little kids playing outside or even down the street, never seen children whatsoever.
And explain to us where do you live in relation to the property?
So
in
I
question?
live directly to the right of the property. So just want to speak about the kids. You know, I know people that have kids, things of that nature. But as far as seeing kids on the street, don't see them. I see a lot of playgrounds out like next to people's houses, but I never see kids at all. Even like on my days off, you know, I've taken my dogs on walks. You know, hoping to see more neighbors, meet more people, things of that nature. Try to build a stronger community. I've just never seen it. Like I said, I only see her kids out maybe once or twice a month, and that's with her husband out there as well. So. Yes, ma'am.
So y'all been having trouble with kids and drugs and stuff for how long?
So the drugs I didn't know anything about until I came to this board meeting last month. I had a guy behind me. Apparently he runs a known meth lab. He's almost burnt my house down last month. Him and his family seem to be living there without power currently. You'll see a light come on once in every while. But as far as noise has been going on for months. Ever since they got those four-wheelers, quads, dirt bikes, whatever you want to call them, it's just been rampant. My wife works third shift, and so it's very hard for her to get any rest during the day. I work pretty much from noon to 9 every night, so I'm not there most of the day, but when I am home, it's just going 40, 50 miles an hour. And not only that, down the street, there's a man that drives multiple Corvettes, and they think, you know, 25 Davenport Avenue or Davenport Avenue in general is a racetrack. They do 100, 115 sometimes, 70, it doesn't matter, whatever gets them to their house the fastest. They're just
And so what has the police told you about this problem?
nothing.
But you say y'all have called.
We're calling the police, we're filing noise complaints, things of that nature.
Guess
And like you said, I've only spoken to the cops twice. Once because, this is totally unrelated. Once because I heard a guy where the junkyard currently sits. There used to be a wood line there. It sounded like the guy was dying. So I called the cops on that one. As far as like the noise complaints, you know, we'll send somebody out. Like Ashley said, they do a circle, and nothing happens. They don't stop. They don't ask us. They don't ask the neighbors. You know, what time do they normally do this? You know, it's kind of like the boys are looking out for the police at this point, right? Because the bikes aren't registered. There's no way those little mini miniature quads are street legal at all.
Okay. Does anybody follow up on your call? You call the police. Do you follow up as to why or why not?
I'm literally about to go to the sheriff's station here soon and getting face to face with somebody or talk to a detective or something about what we can do to minimize this noise complaint. Because like I said, it is affecting my wife's work. And so with that.
But you haven't done it in the past.
No.
Okay.
I've been extremely busy the last several months working, trying to
I
improve
understand.
my home so that way I can eventually get out of this neighborhood. I love the township. I love my neighbors. Everything's quiet. Everything's peaceful. But, you know, I want to move on. I want to move to a different state and be closer to my paternal family. So.
I understand.
Okay, so the children that would be in this home will not be outside every day. They're going to be supervised. They have curriculum. It would be a positive atmosphere of people taking care of children.
Right.
Instead of these young men not being supervised, do you think it would be better for children to be on the street, not being supervised, over children being supervised and cared for in a home? Which one do you think is better?
So as a person that has, ran the streets in the past because my dad was an alcoholic and my mom was always at work trying to get us to have a better life or get us out of that situation, I do say supervision is great. That's why I joined the military 10 years ago. I did very well, succeeded, got a lot of awards for that. But as conducive as the environment is, just the surrounding environment, I don't feel would be safe for children. That's why my wife and we don't come outside. When I do come outside, I usually conceal carry, just because I see strangers. Just 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I had to do, excess speeds to get home because I didn't think the police would actually show up to my front door because someone tried to break into my house with my wife and my dogs home. So you got people don't just come up to your property and knock on the door. You get those random weirdos from time to time, but I've had car tires and wheels stole off my property. I've had multiple trash cans stole off my property. People are trying to break into our homes. And that's why we're trying to get out of this neighborhood.
So this home that you will have security, you will have cameras, obviously you'll have locks on the door. Do people come and visit?
The only person that comes visit the home is the caseworkers, and they come out once a month. But the house will be secure. Majority of the time, like the kids we have now, do they go outside and might sit on the porch or something, because we have like a bench out there, but, nowadays kids are into social media. They're not even thinking about going outside. We even purchased bikes. They don't even ride the bikes. The bikes are sitting right now inside of the garage. We have a basketball room outside. They don't go outside, and this is an area with a driveway it's gated. They don't go outside to play basketball.
Will this home have fencing around it?
Can we pause for a second? At this point, we should be directing questions to the
Oh, I am sorry.
gentleman on the stand.
So sorry.
That's okay.
So the reason why I asked you those questions
Yes, ma'am.
is because we see I hate to use a cliche words, the breakdown of society. And we need organizations that are willing to help. And nobody wants it in their own backyard.
Right.
But, Jefferson Township, I grew up out here, and it's a great community. We do care about the people. You mentioned the sheriffs. I went to a sheriff meeting Tuesday, and they were talking about the gunshots.
Oh, yeah, there was a whole shootout 3 nights ago.
Yeah. And so, but that's everywhere. I've heard gunshots at my house, and I'm just like, how close is that? It seemed like it was out in the woods, and that's
Based
part
on-
of the
Sorry,
problem.
not to mean to interrupt you,
Yeah.
man, but based on what I heard 4 nights ago, it was less than 200 feet.
Yeah. So,
So much so, I instructed my wife to go downstairs to my garage/basement and, sit down there with my dogs until it cleared up or until the police were there to be able to resolve.
okay.
Because I was at work when this happened.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I think that we have to have solutions,
Amen.
and we have to have people who are willing to try. And we also should think about offering a hand, of being part of the solution. And being brave enough to be a part of the solution. So I think, though, that the issues that we have here are unfortunately everywhere. So we have to have a place for the children to go.
Right. So my question is, why now? Why here? Why this neighborhood, right? If they have such a great home where they currently are, why are we trying to expand into other things? And as far as that, as like you say, they have a moratorium on group homes, you know, with a third of them being in Dayton, Ohio. When do we stop, you know, creating more group homes, you know, to expand more into other neighborhoods as well? So that's my question.
Well,
I can say this.
yeah.
I went to the group home. I looked in the area, and you don't even know it's a group home. That's how nice it is in a quiet. Its community is quiet, and they're older people. There's no complaints. There are no issues. It just looks like a nice home. And I looked at the apartment that they bought, and they explained that they are getting calls all the time for them to take more girls, but they can't because they're out of room. They're only moving because of a few issues with the landlord, and they need more space. They get calls all the time for more girls. I talked to the girls, and they were really nice, and they were truthful. They were orderly. The place was neat. I talked to Brittany about her concern, my concern about that area too, for the safety of those kids. Did she feel that it would be safe over there? And she said it would be. She said there's no difference, and it really isn't any difference. I have a group home at the end of my street. You never know they're there. It's been there for years. So it's not about bringing down property values or anything, and they don't disrupt anything. You don't even know it's a group home. So that's what I'm just trying to tell you.
And another answer, they go through, I know group homes, and I know like the juvenile center that's over there near the police. That's more of a concern to me than a group home, because I've worked with them, and I've been involved with group homes very extensively. And basically, they go through a rigid process for everything. Everything that you are asking about, that is done through the state, not us. They couldn't be here tonight if the state hadn't intervened and told them what they had to do and not to do. And I understand your concerns too. But like she said, in my neighborhood, I got a gun range right down the street.
That's right.
And I can't get rid of it. Today's world has changed, and guns is something I don't like, but it's here. Now, in my head, maybe I'm wrong, I'm hearing two different problems, but one doesn't seem to relate to the other to me, but I am listening to what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am.
And
So,
I can definitely understand that
right.
because I'm experiencing what you're saying. But if you met the requirements of all the state, we're here to say, did you do this and that?
Gotcha.
The other part is going into a different direction.
Yes, ma'am. So
Sound like you need the
maybe I
police.
didn't articulate myself, you know, fair enough. But like I said, it's just the environment that's here, hence why we're moving so quickly to move out of this area.
I
right?
understand.
And I respect your guys' time, and I respect your questions, and I hope that, you know, based on what I spoke about, you know, last month at our last concerns, and that will also be taken into consideration. And I also respect the fact that people are getting second chances, sometimes even third or fourth chances, right? I believe in second chances. Trust me, I go to, you know, fundraisers to, you know, feed, you know, families every year with, you know, insurance companies and things of that nature. I'm always the one volunteering. So, but like I said, it's just the environment, right? And I would hate to see people that are on hard times or come from hard times be put back into an area where most of us, quite frankly, are trying to move out. And the reason I got this house is because I was in a bad situation with my past, right? So I saw opportunity, I seized it, and it wasn't until, you know, 5-6 months into seizing an opportunity that I realized it wasn't a good opportunity. So now I've been stuck here for, you know, 7 years, trying to be a good, you know, steward for the community, watch out for everybody, things of that nature. But as far as like the escalation of violence and things of that nature, it just keeps ramping up even quicker.
How many houses are on your street?
There's
Dozen.
about
No,
5 or
that's
yeah,
really
I'd say about a dozen. That's fair.
I
So-
just didn't see a dozen.
That didn't either.
It's about 6 on each side, isn't it?
It's one on across the street from me, which is where the junkyard is, and then you don't see a house until you get to the other known drug house on that side, and then it's me. It's actually their property, mine, the lady next door, and then the older gentleman on the corner, and then street breaks right there, so right, and then on down further. So I don't think the people down on further, hear as much as we hear living
The ones on the
directly.
very end,
Yeah,
because I did survey the neighborhood.
right. So I think because we live closer to the Third Street area, we hear more of the
So y'all
violence and
get a little,
escalation.
so you're getting some Third Street stuff coming into your neighborhood.
Yep.
That's popo.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for the sake of time and to sum up, is your main concern the environment not being good for the children, and/or that it's gonna somehow affect your neighborhood, your property value?
As
It's gonna
far as
be- it's gonna
property
be a negative
value,
impact on
I'm
your-
willing, right now, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
That's
sir.
fine.
As far as property value, I'm willing to sell at a loss right now just to kind of get out of the neighborhood. But my concern personally is the escalation of what the nefarious activities that are going on.
And that not being a healthy environment for the children.
Correct.
I just have one more thing to say.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the house that you guys purchased and it's gonna be refurbished. So would the improvement of this house increase the value of your house?
I cannot confirm or deny that because I do not know.
Okay. I would, and
It's
is,
vacant property right now.
is this your house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because you said the one on the right.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a very beautiful house.
Thank you.
If I will, not that I'm a realtor, but I would say if this house gets fixed up,
Right.
it will,
Most definitely.
won't say improve, it will improve, but I want to say it will enhance the value of your house.
Right.
Because this house
Right.
will be, brought up to code and will
Right.
be beautiful.
Like I said, the value of my property at this point is irrelevant. I'm just more worried about the escalation of, nefarious activities and violence that's been occurring. And as we get closer, it seems like right after the holidays, it just kept going up and up and up. And nowadays, I don't even want to leave for work, to be honest, just because, in the middle of the day, you hear, like she was saying, the gun range going off, or, you get home at night and it's, brah, bah, 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 and you would think it's the whole SWAT team of the sheriffs.
But I want to be clear on what I said. As far as gun rating and shooting, that's actually the police.
Right. So I was just using your gun range as an analogy, ma'am.
Oh, well,
Just kind of like,
I got you.
how you would hear, weapons being fired at a gun range. Because like I spent the last year, like 8 years of my life in the U.S. Army, and being most of those days at the range, and you would think I'm back at the range from all the, violence that you hear outside of my closed door with the doors locked and my security system armed. And I know that we're in a place where most police departments are understaffed, and so I just hope that if something ever happens that day, I never have to use my own weapons, that I can just rely on the police, and then they would show up, because that's what our taxpayers pay for.
Exactly.
So, like I said, property value is irrelevant. Yes, statistically, would it enhance? It'd probably break even, right? If the property value would go down by 10%, they fix that property up, it'd go up by 5%, so it'd be kind of a wash, right? So I don't care about the property value at this point. I just care about the environment and the escalation of nefarious activities versus putting.
Could you see this group home and these lovely children to perhaps make the neighborhood better?
I don't see it making it better, and I don't see it making it worse.
Because the reason why I asked that question, when we're gonna have more adults, more licensed people from the state
Right.
coming around, those other people, the nefarious people on their motorbikes may not be coming around. And maybe, like, the issue that you're having is not a group home, coming in, the issue you're having is police and, and people on the street. I would say get involved with the sheriffs. It would have been great if you had been there a couple of days ago, because it's not the same, it's not the same issue.
Right. I apologize. I work 6 days a week most weeks.
Okay.
And so I wasn't able to make it.
Okay.
Nor did I know there was a public sheriff's meeting.
Okay.
You're
The
not
only
by
reason I
yourself.
found out about this area is because I got that letter. Right.
Okay.
I didn't even know you could get more involved with the community.
Oh,
You can
You know,
get
I
more
thought-
involved.
I thought everybody, had worked for the city kind of deal.
no,
so-
we're volunteers, I'm
Right.
a neighbor.
We do want to allow time for other speakers to be able to.
Yeah.
And just know that the notice about the police meeting was not properly administered so
Right.
that everybody would even know.
Right.
So you didn't have time, it sounds like, to even just attend that meeting.
Yeah.
It wasn't presented to the residents of Jefferson Township correctly.
Gotcha.
So that's why y'all missed it. And it would have been nice if you could have been there had they notified you properly.
Right.
And that information would help. But that, once again, is not the group home, you're back with the police again.
Let's make sure that we're staying on point here.
So on point, I'm sorry.
They're fine.
You're fine.
I'm just saying, not conducive environment for these young women, right? Neighborhood's getting a little rampant, and I'm in opposition.
Appreciate that.
Sorry about
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. You'd have to be sworn in to comment.
We got 2 or 3 people waiting to talk.
Comment.
Yeah, let's try to
And
make
they
this
got
succinct so
cameras
we can make sure
everywhere.
everyone has
They
a chance to
got
speak.
security, they got the fire, they got
Rhonda
everything.
Smith,
they
and
need.
I do swear to tell the truth.
I have to ask you.
Okay, go ahead.
Your name, please?
Rhonda Smith.
Sharonda Smith. And do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, this board is
Yes.
zoning appeals?
And I know
Thank
this is off the subject, but you guys are more concerned to me is the police in the neighborhood. I mean, we all modern now, that everybody has cameras and Ring cameras. So when you do go to the police, bring those cameras because they can know when to come, what time of the day come. I have a criminal justice background. So in order to help you out and help us out in the neighborhood, that will help them track, the community, making sure it's better and safe for not just for the group home, but for you as individuals as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're saying they're gonna need that
Can we,
anyway for a
They got
neighborhood?
those.
Sir, if we let someone who
have-
hasn't
they
spoken
have
yet
security.
have an opportunity, is there anyone else who'd like to speak who hasn't spoken yet? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Could you state your name for the record? Emily, and do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, this board of zoning appeals? Thank you.
I am affiliated with the landlord with Brittany and Andy. I've been on it for 13 years now. I just want to say that I see where they come from to where they are now, and I see them do so much to the community that I am impressed. I'll always back them up whenever they ask me to do anything. I'll go ahead and back them up because I've seen them basically improve the community in general, in the group home and outside the group home. I did listen to their concerns, and I do listen, Ms. Ashley, you had some good concerns, but it sounded like you said you were concerned about the, girls in the group home, and I'm not for sure. You also said that you don't care what they do to the community. At the end of your speech, you said you don't care what happens to the community because you're trying to get your girls
Out.
you out, right? Y'all don't wanna stay, right?
Not staying.
Okay, well, wasn't it something similar to that?
The gentleman
to
who
try to
said
get-
that.
Okay, either way it go, that seems like that's personal. I don't think these girls getting brought into this group home, improving their lives, given a second chance, has nothing to do with, I'm sorry, y'all household and what the police is not producing. That's the police. That's my opinion. I really just believe that the issues that was brought up here has nothing to do with these girls' well-being. I'm sorry. You're gonna find teenage boys acting up in every single neighborhood. These girls came off Cornell. I can't get no worse than that, to be honest with you. It's bad over there too. and you don't see all the negativity coming from no group home. I just feel like it's an issue that you're having with the law and the teenagers. And again, wherever you're gonna go, teenagers are gonna act up. Y'all went from, they were tearing up, trash cans and doing stuff to your outside of the house. I remember you saying something like that, to now they done broke in somewhere and broke in the neighbors. That you didn't say that?
Attempted.
I'm sorry.
You
Go
can
ahead,
respond.
come on.
Those are different people.
I said they were trying to break into my home.
Okay.
They were not successful.
But they tried to, so they went from just destroying trash cans to trying to break in.
He didn't make that comment.
Oh, he didn't?
I didn't
No.
say anything about trash cans or anything like that. That was Miss Ashley.
Ashley.
I said that stuff has been stolen off my property.
Oh, okay.
Stuff
Wires,
has been,
tires.
you know, defiled on my property.
Okay.
They tried to break into my home, right? And so with that, with those types of characters and individuals in the neighborhood, it's not about the police. It's not about the issue of having police do this. I feel like this is getting spun real quick.
Mhm.
It's about these girls coming into this environment, yes, and then like it got spun into property values. I said something last month about a decrease of 10% in property values, right?
Mhm.
So my concern is based on the escalation of criminal activity that's been happening in our neighborhood to us, unbeknownst to us, just because people are getting bolder and bolder, right? You could have ring cameras. I got ring. I got Simply Safe. You know, I've got weapons, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, it's not going to stop somebody from trying to do something to your property. So I just wanted to make myself clear on that. It's not the police. It's me in opposition to the home because I don't feel it's safe for these little girls.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
That's all I really wanted to say, is that teenage boys gonna act up in every area. I think we're all unsafe if that's the case, not just the girls.
Thank you.
I do have something to say.
Yeah,
I
Mike, please.
understand that they're talking about people breaking into the properties, but I do wanna say this. That home has been abandoned for years. We still have electricity inside of the house that we can have electrician pull the electricity, inside of the house to do their permits. Also with the plumbing is still connected there, there's coils there. These are things that people break inside of apartments and houses that steals. So if the area was so much bad and they're breaking inside of the house, why they're not breaking inside of the apartment building that's banded there? And it's been banded there for years. And again, the property is still in good condition inside. We have all our copper. We have, as far as wires still running. We have electricity poles that's outside as well too. So if they're breaking in, to a house next door, the first thing that a person that's clearly is on drugs, that they steal copper, and our copper is still there, inside the house. And again, it's a abandoned building. It has not been touched for years. And then another thing as well too. We don't have girls that just come with like traumas. I have one girl who came in there and she was there because her mother died because of COVID. So like it's not like they're getting pulled away far as from like bad areas or trauma like some girls are, but these are like typical like normal causes that happens in people's life. They just need a place to go they consider home, and that's what we plan to do. Now the value of this house that we spent on this home, we spent a nice amount on this home. And we plan on putting $80,000 inside of this home. So if you can imagine, as far as what the apartment is going to look like once we do the house, compared to what it's looking like now and what it's been looking like, it's going to be a nice home. And like I said, it's going to bring up the value. So I just wanted to make that clear about when they're talking about property values or talking about breaking in and entering inside of areas, that it's an abandoned home that's sitting there and it has not been touched. Okay.
They were.
Yeah. Yeah, ma'am, if you may. Can you state your name, please?
Angela Brown.
Angela, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
This Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yes.
Thank you.
I run a nonprofit agency, and I've been working with A&B Sisterhood since before they opened up. So I want to say they do not allow their girls to run the streets. We run a program. We just got done with a 12-week program. We're partnering with Dayton Metro Library, and her girls are part of the program. They do a 12-week program for leadership, networking, they're learning skills to have a career when they leave the group home, because they come from different counties. You heard them, mainly from Columbus, and they know no one here. And we take these girls every week for 3 hours, and we teach them skills to get a job in the beauty industry or whatever they want to do, but mainly beauty. And they come in, they tell us all their dreams and aspirations. And these girls didn't even know each other from day one, and by day, and the girls aren't just from the group home that we serve. We serve group home girls, we serve underprivileged kids. We serve kids that have both parents at home, or their parents are doctors and nurses, and they get with these different cross personalities, and all these girls, they love each other, they recommend their friends, and they became a really good group. So these girls, they don't allow them to run the streets. They put them in this program that we run, and we partner with the library, which is going to be even bigger. So they do really well with the girls, and they just need more. They need to be a bigger space to take on more girls, because they're doing an awesome job.
Thank you. All right, so for the sake of time, if there's anyone else who'd like to speak, we'll allow you the opportunity, but if you do, just please keep it brief. Is there anyone else?
Let me just say, if I could, reiterate something that Ms. Brown stated. So our girls are not just there in the home. There is a rigorous embedded activity schedule where they attend the life skills training. They attend camp. This is year round. They go to college visits frequently. These things are purposeful, for one, to expose them, and we all know what exposure has the potential to produce. And then so that they can keep busy. We know what an idle mind can produce. So the schedule, the activity schedule is rigorous, and it's embedded, and it's intentional.
Thank you.
I do have one question, and I'm gonna keep it brief. Yes, sir. What school district will these children be going to?
Dayton Public.
Dayton Public.
Yeah, and one of the letters that you have in front of you is from a Dayton Public school teacher that I actually deal with, and she does homeschooling as well too. She was not able to make it, but however, she did state that if we could FaceTime her or contact her on the phone, that she would love to speak, but she was not able to make it. But she did write a letter, regarding the kids going inside the schools, about how well that we do with the kids inside of the school area.
Is there a reason why they would not be attending Jefferson?
Well, this district is Dayton, so it's not considered Jefferson.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so once we looked up the address, we confirmed it, once we left the last meeting, and it's still considered Dayton.
Gotcha.
So we still have like our connections and everything with the Dayton Public Schools.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion that's armed with the information that we've collected this far, knowing that the group home is about taking care of girls in a challenging situation. It's a good work, but also hearing the concerns from the neighbors in the neighborhood. I'd like to make a motion that we vote with a yes being to approve and a no being to deny.
Second. Second.
Yeah, roll call, please. Abstain.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so that's a 4 out of 5, so the application passes. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excuse me,
We'll-
Brandon.
We'll be moving on to the next case. Well, I mean,
I know, man, Costco.
oh, Riley, how much you?
I'm the one.
Nice. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, we do things for the neighborhood. And the sheriffs come out, the fire people come out, and
We were over there before for another
so
case.
we need to
I
know.
agree, I agree that they have a, I agree that the work that they're doing, I just, I don't, I agree that it's not a good environment.
See, but they feel like it's got a lot of pieces that I don't know.
It's not an easy decision on the conscience.
But, one thing that I see,
It passed.
yeah, well,
I figured it would.
the state law already took care of that to me.
Yeah, but,
The state was
okay, the second,
they got food for it.
and like you said, they found a spot that they could afford, and put the money in, and it's bigger. Oh, and they can do more girls.
Okay, all right, okay. And,
Yeah, you're welcome to stay as long as you like.
okay, thank you, Morgan.
I know,
All right.
Mm-hmm.
don't know,
And how come we couldn't, go to anybody? Like
I mean, they got everything they need.
when Linda was here, she had questions. We were able to break and go in back and discuss it.
I just asked Karen about it, she said she's not allowed to do that. Even the trustees aren't allowed to do that. Apparently that's a no-no.
I want to find out why.
It's because it's supposed to be a public meeting.
It's a public meeting, but here's my concern. We got
I know, but that's why,
they needed more information.
that's why I wanted to let everybody speak, so that they could be as informed as possible. Like, I wanted them to hear all the stuff we heard at the last
But
meeting.
they still need to understand that was not the same, to bring them up to that, to say, I knew.
Yes. I wanted to make sure you ladies had a chance to hear what we heard at the last meeting. And I think we heard all the same. I don't think there was anything new that was brought.
Yeah, it was good. I need to hear it again.
Yeah, I think we were very well informed.
Okay.
Yeah.
but
All right, we ready, Karen?
okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and hear case number 2024-012. This is for Valacor Environmental Services at 300 Cherokee Avenue in Dayton. This is for a variance. Can we go ahead and hear a little bit about the case?
Okay, it's in the staff report.
Staff report?
Yeah, it's on the second page of this thing here.
Oh, our agenda.
Light Industrial District, they are in need of an variance. They are in need of a variance. The code says up to, or the minimum, I think was like 60 feet. They need an 80-foot stack, and it's to help control the pollution. It's a pollution-controlled device near the middle of the facility. And Bill, I always call you Bill, he's here for Valacor, and he can explain this much better than I can. But the reason that this is coming before the board is because it doesn't fit in our code, the height.
And this is in a rural agricultural district?
Pardon me?
This is a rural district?
No, it is a light industrial district.
Light industrial?
Yeah, it's right here on Cherokee.
Oh, okay. My bad. I saw that on your page 2, it says, Article 17, Section 1703, the following development standards shall apply to uses in an RA. Is that a residential? The RA zoning district?
Where are you reading?
I'm in the staff recommendation.
This is probably for the first one, the first case.
I don't think so.
Go ahead. The existing zoning is a
okay,
light
this is-
industrial.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's my bad. I was
Okay,
looking at different
that's
stuff.
fine.
I thought it was all part of the same thing.
That's fine.
All right, so should we hear from the
And then
applicant?
this part here is the staff recommendation, and it's Article 17, Section 1703, and it's following the development standards shall apply to uses of it says RA zone, I don't know, that's part of the Article 17, but for what they need, it has to do with number F, which is the height,
Right.
okay?
All right. All right, so
What is the height maximum now? 60.
60 feet.
is William here?
Yes.
Come on up, William.
Good evening.
You have to speak in the mic.
I watched you hold the sign up there if you don't, I get it.
Can
Exactly.
you state your name, please?
Bill Shoddy?
And do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to this board of zoning appeals?
Yes.
Thank you.
What we're looking to do is request a variance on the stack height for a pollution control device. We are regulated by the federal EPA, the state EPA, and RAPTA. I've been with the company for a year and 1 day. I have 35 years in industry, and I retired about 4 years ago. I was recruited by the COO who I worked with previously, and he basically is looking to upgrade the facility and make improvements on it. One of the things we determined is that the stack is currently 36 feet tall, and when you get certain weather conditions, you get inversions. And so the air that's going out this stack ends up getting pushed back down occasionally. So we got a letter from the EPA.
Thank you.
Basically, what that says is to use good engineering practices. So we did that, and we realized that part of our problem is that the stack is too short, okay? So they said, use that calculation, and should be another page in your packet that says that they recommend 75 feet, okay? We added an extra 5 feet just to be safe and make sure that we don't have to come back and do this again. The company decided to do this, although we're currently legal operation now. We felt that to improve the air quality in the area and in the neighborhood and all that, the company would take on the additional cost and expense to do this. And that's basically the logic and justification to raise it. It does not improve our profitability, it does not improve our production or anything like that. It just makes it nicer for the employees and the community around us.
How tall is the current stack?
Our current stack is 36 feet, but we also have what's called a silo on site, is actually taller than that. The facility is extremely old, it's over 40 years old, so I don't have any drawings that say how tall that is, but I'm just gonna guess maybe 50 feet for the silo.
Okay. So it'd be effectively adding another 45 feet.
Correct.
What is the nature of the work that you do at Valacor, just for?
We're a wastewater treatment plant, so if you've ever driven by a wastewater plant, you notice that they don't smell very nice, okay? We have set up what's called an RTO, a regenerative thermal oxidizer, and it's a pollution control device. And basically what it does, it has a push-pull system where it has blowers that will pull odors away from our biotanks and processing and push it to the RTO, okay? Then there's combustion in there, and we have to have it at a certain temperature to burn up any of the odors, and so when it goes out the stack, it doesn't smell bad. Unfortunately, there's certain things in biotreatment that you just can't burn. So it is going out all the time. Wherever there's a water treatment plant, you're gonna have this. But with the RTO, our odors are minimal, and we're hoping with the extension of the stack, it gets it more up into the crosswinds and things like that, and you get better dispersion, so it's spread out over a larger area and it's not noticeable.
Do you see this as a net benefit for the community?
Yeah, we have a hotline for the community to call us when it smells bad. The original thought for that was it would help us pinpoint and track down things. The issue, when that number was passed out, and this is before my time, it didn't say if it's where you're at. So we get calls all over the county on things, and so it's very difficult to factor in things. The other thing is, whenever we get a call, we do an immediate investigation. We document what the weather conditions are, what processes are going, what the complaint said it smelled like, where they were located. And we found that, you know, people will say that they're north of the plant, but the wind's blowing in the opposite direction. So it obviously can't be from us, but we can't identify or pinpoint where it is coming.
So is this the company that is treating some of the waste from the East Palestine derailment?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Is this the company that's handling some of the waste from the East Palestine derailment?
Not that I'm aware of. Again, I've only been here a year
Gotcha.
and a day, so if it was prior to that, I can't say.
Well, no, I understand that, but it was my understanding that that waste was being brought into Jefferson. Yes.
We hadn't
Hadn't heard
anything
that.
about that.
Yeah.
I can't answer that, I'm
Gotcha.
sorry.
Okay. 'Cause and this used to be Permafix, correct?
I'm sorry?
The former name was Permafix.
My understanding is prior to being, Valacor acquired the facility 2 years ago.
Okay.
Prior to that, it was Clean Water Environmental. Prior to that, it was Clean Water Limited, and prior to that was Permafix. So it's essentially 4 owners ago, and I can't really speak to any of that stuff, unfortunately.
Gotcha. And so what you're trying to do basically is being proactive in preventing future obnoxious smells.
Correct.
And updating the facilities.
And basically making it so that the community feels safe with us. We've made quite a few significant changes, and that's essentially why I was brought here. I pretty much enjoy being in my retirement and not having any headaches and that, but when I came to interview, I could see that the company was spending money in upgrading the actual infrastructure. The facility is 40, 50 years old. It's old technology, a lot of things that just industry doesn't do anymore. And our senior management of the company is committed to fixing and correcting those things. It takes time, unfortunately, and some things work and some things don't.
And what are the cons, or what are there any neighborhood complaints about maybe this higher item being on this building that may, I don't want to talk about property, about getting property values?
We've not had that because it hasn't been built yet. This thermal oxidizer we have, the one that they have is made out of carbon steel. So we're taking odors and emissions and moisture away from the bioplant, high moisture. What happens is it causes rust and deterioration of the unit, okay? So the big kicker is I wanted to replace that unit with a stainless steel, 316 stainless steel, so you don't have any rust, you don't have any corrosion, you get better sealing, you don't have the incidental emissions oozing out the panels and things like that. The unit we found and want to purchase has a stack on it that's 80 foot tall. That's the reason we're doing it. Now, if this group feels that it's not warranted, we will just cut the stack down to whatever the spec is, I guess 60 feet. The concern with that, though, is we're not going to get as good a dispersion as we would at 80 feet. So.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate it.
It's my understanding that the reason there's a height restriction is because of a potential eyesore. So as long as none of the residents have an issue with it, I don't know if there's any residents present who would want to. We'll get to you, ma'am. But that's, as far as I know, that's the reason why there's a height restriction, is just because of the
area we're
visibility.
at, there's a huge junkyard right behind us, and we are a water treatment plant. We're not pretty. We don't have flowers all over and things like that, and I totally agree and understand that.
Any further questions?
You had said you had a letter from EPA. Did I misunderstand you? The
Well,
one that you passed
it's
out?
RAPTA. It's a division of the EPA. It's the Regional Pollution Control.
Air Pollution Control
something on
Agency.
there, yeah. We went to them and asked them, said, okay, what do you recommend? And then they came back with the general engineering standards, and that's where we did the calculation page to how high it should be, based on their recommendation.
Okay, I'm still kinda lost, because the address says it, 117 South Main, and, I know that to be public health, so you saying that this is part of public health department?
I've got bad hearing. I think one of my hearing aids isn't quite
Ah.
working, so.
Okay, what I'm saying is the address that's on this letter that you gave us is an address for the health department. So you're saying that this guy here, air pollution control unit, is part of the health department? Or is it part of EPA?
It's part of the EPA. The EPA has multiple branches and divisions.
He's speaking to the mic, sir.
The EPA has multiple branches and divisions. They have the regulatory, they have the enforcement, they have the pollution control, they have the water, and just, I don't know how many. These people are the ones that are primarily responsible for air pollution and things like that. They're the leading experts, so that's why we went to them.
Okay.
Any further questions?
Just, have you ever, tested how far the odors go when people complain? How far
Yes,
out?
one of the things we do is we send out generally 2 cars or 2 vehicles to go to. If the person identifies on the call where they are located, we will go right to that spot and see what we determine what is there and what it smells like. We also do a perimeter walk around the facility. We know what operations are running, so that helps us determine, okay, yes, it is us, or no, it's not us.
I was just wondering because I would get smells where I live, but I didn't know if it was you or the landfill. And sometimes I blame the wrong ones.
Correct, and we found that several times. We've also had cases in the summer where odors from the fairgrounds, depending on the wind current, come by, and we'll get a complaint on that. And those are easy, because manure is significantly different than a bioplant, but, you know, we still investigate every single one. We then send a report to the Ohio EPA and RAPTA on what we found and determined.
So making this stack is gonna make it less, I'm sorry, especially with a mask on. So making this stack higher is supposed to be less spray coming down?
Correct. So when,
But we're
so
still
when-
gonna
when-
get spray if it's 65 feet or if it's 80 feet. You're still gonna get spray.
Potentially less.
But not as,
but not as much.
significantly less. So, so when you're taking air up to 80 feet and it comes out the stack, it's already going to be dispersed significantly more by the time it comes back to ground level.
So it's evaporate as it's coming down.
Correct.
Or get blown away.
It'll get diluted.
Yes.
dilute it out. Okay.
Solution to pollution is dilution.
He's like, well,
Not actually.
not exactly.
That explanation still will incur fines and things like that, yeah.
Well, it's not actual pollution, it's just odors.
It's not pollution, correct, because it's burning through the RTO at about 1,750 degrees. And
So it's
basically,
harmless, it just doesn't smell nice.
yes, yeah.
And this is gonna help it not be as potent.
It's
Correct.
strong.
It's not gonna accumulate and build up.
Nope.
No.
Make it better. Any questions? All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, man, if you wanna come up and we'll get you sworn in. All right, and Linda, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
This Board of Zoning Appeals, thank you.
I am representing my neighbors there because most of them is sick and old and unable to come there. So my name is Linda Rickett, and I live at 303 Cherokee Drive. I'm representing, her name is Belinda K. Combs. She lives at 313 Cherokee Drive, which is on one side of me. Larry McDaniel, 301 Cherokee, he lives on the other side of me. Chris Etchison, she lives 2 doors up from me at 299 Cherokee. Debbie and Rodney Browning at 399 Cherokee. And Elaine Mays at 325 Cherokee. That includes everybody on this lower block here. where this place is except for one person.
And would you mind describing for us where those are in relation to the plant per this map?
We're all,
You directly adjacent?
yes, I gave you I gave some pictures.
You gave it to me.
Yeah.
She just brought these in. Let me,
Some
let you guys
pictures
look at
here,
these.
and,
Can she also come and show us in relationship to this map where those addresses are?
Right here.
Oh,
The
those are
string
all
of
the,
addresses.
Yeah, that's what
you
these
just
are.
numbered them,
Yes.
I got you.
yeah, all of these is,
Okay.
from,
That's the
I'm
all
plan.
assuming
these
this
addresses
blue
is
dot's the
from
proposed site
Fraser
of the stack.
Avenue
Mm-hmm.
to the end of the road. All these is right there across the street.
Right
and-
across from the place
Yes.
itself.
Okay. And, I noticed when I wanted to, I've got something written up here that I'd like to read. But first I'd like to ask, on that it said conditional use, and I'd like to know what the conditional use is.
Conditional use is actually, for them to determine the use of land.
That's what I wanna know. What is their determination of use of the land?
Well, it's actually, it's how it's zoned. This is zoned, light industrial.
Is our houses there also, zone light industrial? I thought it was all in
No, you would be
residential.
zoned
No, yeah, yours,
Okay,
that's probably where the line is.
So
Yeah.
this,
Okay.
they already have permission to put in the stack,
Yeah, it's
but they're
already there.
limited on how tall it can be, per the code. That
okay.
we're allowed to
This
make a
is a
variance.
house coming, this was the first time that we've ever got a notice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the first time and some of these neighbors never even got a notice.
Are these neighbors concerned about,
Yes, they're concerned about everything. I'll go ahead. All of my neighbors that signed this also got a copy of this letter. She has a copy of this letter, there, and some photos showing where it's at, where all the properties are and everything there. I'm sorry I didn't,
This is a list of the addresses and the people that got letters.
okay, some of the people told me that they didn't get letters, so I don't know,
I can guarantee you, every
Um,
one of those letters were sent out.
okay, well, I got my letter, and I talked to all my neighbors, and we've been talking over this for years. I'd like to say that, the people that's been on this street, myself, I've been there 54 years. My parents bought that house when I was 13 years old. Kay Combs, Glenda Combs, her family bought that house. They've been there 65 years. Larry McDaniels has been there 52 years. These is the three houses that's directly straight across from where they're building at right now. Chris, her husband just passed away. They've been there like 8 years. Debbie didn't put down how many years she's been there, but I know it's been at least 20. And Mrs. Mays, she's been at her address for 15 years. And so we've all been there, most all of our lives is what we've been there, so. And I addressed this, I didn't know exactly who I was supposed to address it to, so I addressed it to the Jefferson Township trustees. Got the letter from Karen Kaler, and then, Mr. Shady,
That's the gentleman that was just speaking.
and, their address, and an appeal for the variance and conditional use filed by general manager, and then for myself. And, like I say, this is the first notice we got, and I felt, the first thing that I felt that they poured the concrete for it looks like the footers today. I thought we were supposed to have a meeting on all this before any work would ever start.
so unless I'm mistaken, because they are in a light industrial zoning district, they're allowed to conduct certain activities without having to
Right.
come before this board. So
Well-
those activities would not require a variance.
Okay.
And
but-
they also have gotten, permits for what they're doing.
Okay, but
The only reason,
why didn't, we got the letter that says that we had the opportunity to come here to agree or oppose.
so,
So,
Go ahead.
what are we opposing? It's already done.
so the reason this board exists is because if there's anything that the applicant wants to do that isn't already inside the code, as long as it's inside the code, they simply apply for a permit and the zoning officer grants the permit.
Okay.
If it goes beyond the code, like let's say they wanted to build something within a certain distance from the easement, at the end of the property. There's a distance that they're allowed to build within. And if they want to go inside that, that would go outside the code. They would have to apply for a variance, and that's when it comes to this board. So in this particular case, the reason you're here today, the reason we're here today, is because the code already allows them to build this stack to a certain height. They don't have to send out a notice to the neighbors informing them that they're already allowed to do it.
So this meeting is actually to say whether they can build it that high or not.
Exactly.
Correct.
And the conditional use is, can you clarify that a little bit more for me? Because I mean, they've already got it all snuck up there and everything. If they're gonna bring something else in there to make it worse, that's what I'm mostly worried about, the conditional use.
Well, that's why they wanna put the stack in, so that it does take care of the smell. But a conditional use is what they're going to actually do with the property. That property has been a plant for,
More than 50 years.
yeah, so
Been a
they,
plant there more
yeah,
longer
so
than
the
I've been
conditional
there.
use has already been used for
For that
that,
purpose.
that piece of property.
Well, you're telling me that it's conditional use, but what is the conditional use?
Hang on a second, I think I can clarify.
Okay.
And I'd like to,
So if,
she didn't give you any of these pictures
Can you
here.
pass the
yeah, if we could get the picture. ready.
I'm sorry.
So oftentimes, if we as the board approve an application that goes beyond the code, we are allowed to impose conditions upon the permit. So for example, like in the last case that you heard sitting here, we would be allowed to say, we'll grant you this permit in the condition that the property is maintained to Jefferson Township property maintenance codes. If, in fact, down the road, the property is not being kept up to property maintenance standards, we're allowed to revoke the permit. So we can place conditions upon the application. So in this case, we could say, you're allowed to build this stack to 80 feet instead of the 60-foot code requirement.
Well,
In the
first,
condition that conditions for the neighborhood improve and don't deteriorate. We could put that
well,
condition
that's
upon
what
it.
that was my main concern there. It was, I mean, if you're putting a stack in to get rid of the smell, we need to get rid of the smell. That's one of my biggest concerns there, and that's my neighbor's biggest concerns here, is getting rid of the smell. Whenever you had on there conditional use, we're already put up with enough there, and we don't need to be adding any more to it. But I'll have to go ahead and read this, and like I say, each one of my neighbors that signed this for me to represent them got this, and with talking with them is the reason I wrote this up, and I'm not a professional, so, if you'll bear with me, I appreciate it. It says, in the response to the appeal, we are deeply in opposition and are asking that all construction stop immediately. And that's because we didn't know what was going on. The letter that we got was so brief. I mean, it didn't really tell us anything. Most of my neighbors are older, and some are very ill and unable to make it to this meeting. Therefore, I will be representative of many of my neighbors, and as their signature and the attached will authorize me to do so, which she has that paper with original signatures on it. And we need more information on this property, like what variants and conditions are being asked. And I think you might answer that. And it says it's light industrial, which it's always been light industrial, but this is a great big old plant, and and the smells that comes out of there smells like chemicals. It doesn't sound like light industry to me. And we'd like to know what type of materials is processed at this plant. What are we breathing? And who is responsible for allowing this property to grow as it has in a residential neighborhood without consulting with any neighbors or anything? We've had to put up with this, and it gets worse even with these people that's got it, it's still getting worse. We've seen it go through so many different hands, and every time it comes through there, it doesn't get any better. It gets worse and worse and worse. Even, you said you've been there for over a year. Within that last year, it's even got worse. Most of us have been at this address for more than 50 years, and when we bought our homes, or either our parents bought our homes and we inherited, and I actually bought my siblings out, the lighted industry considered of a small machine shop and a Clark oil refinery with only 2 or 3 small tanks. At that time, there were other homes surrounding the street line around 300 Cherokee Drive, both on Cherokee Drive and Bronson Avenue. meaning they had houses all around the front sides and sides of their building. We didn't see nothing back through there. There were trees and wooded areas, and there were no odor and no or big tankers coming down our street. It was safe for our children, especially being on a dead-end street, and the air was safe to breathe. Our homes were valued residential according to other homes around the surrounding neighborhoods. Since that time, the property at 300 Cherokee Drive was sold or transferred ownership, and expansion began. At this time, they have built to the back of their property, or it seems to be, back to the property as far as they can go, and who moved forward with expansion closer to the street line on Cherokee Drive, and still have the property from Fraser to Bronson and Cherokee to South Northampton with open land. I would assume in the future that they'll want to expand into, and it's already unbearable now. On many occasions, most of us have complained to the complaint hotline concerning the very foul odor with no results. The results that I have personally got myself is if I call over there and I ask or say that I've got a complaint about the foul odor, then it says, what does it smell like? Well, it smells like chemicals. It always smells like chemicals. I do agree at one time it was the dump down there, and you could smell it smelled like trash. I've lived there across the street, straight across the street from them so long, I know what their smell smells like. It smells like chemicals. The odor is very frequent and becoming even more foul and smells like chemicals. It's just terrible. I mean, and the worst times is when you have nobody to call on the weekends, on holidays, and the evenings when there's nobody to call. And I have even called the EPA to come out there. I've had no results for anything. Somewhere, something's got to give. I mean, like I say, we've been here 50 and 60 years, and we're just living through pure, you know, we paid good money for our houses when we bought them, and they're worth nothing now. The odor has drastically decreased our quality of life in many ways, such as not being able to enjoy the outside, can't go outside, not being able to open your windows, and the smell carried inside our homes and absorbing into the fixtures, especially the fabric furnishings. Who can wash their curtains every week, or the bedclothes every week, or wash the walls down, and you know, all this, and wood, all this smell absorbs into everything. So we got the smell all the time, whether it's inside or outside. Also, we don't even know how it's affecting our health. I did read when I tried to do some investigation on this that they do clean up from chemical waste sites, and when they do that, when that stuff is processed, it puts off chemicals in the air. So we're breathing those chemicals in the air. It's not just smell, it's chemicals with that. Most people in the area are older, with many very ill. Mrs. Mays, one there, right now, she has cancer, and she also has diabetes. Larry McDaniel, my next door neighbor there, has diabetes very bad. Chris's husband just passed away, and I think he had heart problems and stuff. I don't know if I'm not saying that their health problems is caused from this, but I'm sure that it's contributing to it. And being at the age that we are, and how is this odor affecting our children? I have my grandchildren living with me, and what has been released in the air for our air to breathe.
So if I may, I don't mean to interrupt. We sympathize with your concerns about the smell. We as a board have no jurisdiction over the activities that could take place on that property, the kind of business they conduct, the products that they're using. All we do is decide on if they're allowed to go taller with this project that they want to do. That's the only thing we have any, we don't, if you're dissatisfied with the activities and the smells and those kinds of things,
Well, who do we talk to? Cause I've tried everything, so somebody give me a name and a telephone number that I can contact that's gonna help me out. Cause I've called the EPA, I've called our hotline, we've done, you know, and we
I
never
would-
get any notices
I would
or
imagine
anything, we
the-
just get stuck with what's there.
Montgomery County Department of Public Health, the EPA, those are probably as high as you can go. But what I'm saying is we as much as we wanna sympathize, there's nothing we can do as a board to resolve these issues that you're presenting.
Well, I'd like to go ahead and finish reading this anyway.
Sure.
I don't have that much more to go. When most property values are going up, our property values have decreased because of the property at 300 Cherokee Drive. If we sold, we could never get back a portion of what we have put into our homes, and that would be if anyone would even buy them. Buy these properties because of one reason, Valcor and previous owners of the property. Not just them, I'm talking about this has stepped up all through time. We are very disappointed with our representative of Jefferson Township, which has allowed the property to expand to this point in a residential neighborhood and not putting any regulations on them. We are already in deep opposition of what's already there and even more in opposition of any further development of this property. We definitely do not want it classified any more than a light industrial, and if it is already exceeds the classifications, we are asked that the company be reduced until it meets those light industrial classifications. I'm not sure that they do, you know, because this is more like a chemical refinery. It's not just a refinery. This is a chemical refinery.
That would be a question for the zoning department.
And what we are asking for is that no further development happen over there at that property. It's already, I mean, it's already almost out to the street. And no change in the light industrial classification and no conditional use. Didn't know what the conditional use when I put that on there, didn't know what it was.
Karen, do you have the definition on that?
I do.
Could you, for the sake of the,
Conditional use means a use permitted within a district other than the principal permitted use, requiring a conditional use permit and approval of the Board of Zoning Appeals that all the prior conditions for approval have been met.
Okay, but those conditions could be anything.
Okay, I think part of the issue that you're having is the fact that it is a plant there. That plant's been there for years.
Yeah, it's been there for years.
And
I've been
as
across
far-
it, and I know all about it.
And as far as the light industrial, that is what it is.
Yeah,
And
I
it,
understand too.
that was put in place by Montgomery County because they're the ones that do the mappings on these areas. So that came straight from Montgomery County.
Okay, and if I can continue on, we ask that you do not pollute our air. And, you know, if you're not polluting our air, if you put the stack in, if it takes care of the smell, maybe that's what it calls for. I don't know. But if it doesn't, there's a big eyesore right in front of my front door. These pictures is taken, you can see in those pictures I put on there, on my front porch. And, I'm also asking that you landscape the street frontage, you know, so we don't have to look at this stuff. I've asked for this before with previous owners. And I would like to have something put up there like tall, thick pine trees that grows tall and thick, so I mean, who wants to go out, I mean, you walk out your front door and you got stacks and buildings and everything everywhere. We can't do nothing, we can't have parties, we can't do nothing. You call over there, Mr. Woodson, when he passed away, was my neighbor. He passed away, and whenever he didn't wanna have a party, he'd call over and say, now I'm getting ready to have a party, and I don't wanna smell it today. EPA comes out there, we can sit there and watch the EPA come out there, they'll pull up in there, they have to sign in at the trailer there before they can go back and check the tanks out. As soon as they pull in there and they know that they're there, you see people walking back to those tanks to turn them off. We're not, I mean, you know, we've been here all these years and stuff, and everything just keeps throwing at us. What rights do we have? Everything's been taken from us, our property values is down to nothing. We've got nothing to leave our children, that we've worked all our life for. We've got nothing to leave them, because, I mean, it just keeps growing and growing. pretty soon, like I say, they have all this other property up through here, and it's gonna keep growing up through there. It's gonna go up the whole three blocks this way. You got Cherokee, you got West End, you got South Northampton, and then all the way from there to the end of Cherokee Drive.
There
They
would,
got
there
all
are,
kinds to do, and it
there
just
are
keeps going.
codes,
So how much are we gonna have to deal with?
there are codes in place that would restrict how far they can go to the property line.
Okay,
And I would like
can
to
I-
add that,
Well, how far can they go? 'Cause they're almost to the road right now on Cherokee Drive.
That's a question for
Okay,
the zoning department.
one of the things that I want to say, because I'm hearing a missed opportunity, and I think it's because you didn't know. You said you called EPA and the health. A call is not going to get it. If you want action, you got to provide the documentation. And like he said, we cannot do that. You need to go down there to the office, the EPA, take all that you have here, file a complaint, and do the same thing with the health department, because that's where it's going to have to be addressed at. And it's funny, today, I was looking at EPA stuff just for another reason. And that's why I'm asking about this address on here, because everything I looked up, this is health department and not EPA. That's where my confusion is. You're saying one thing, but what I read today at their website, there's a conflict. But that's neither here or there when it comes to you. You got to file the proper complaint. In y'all's neighborhood, y'all have to keep filing and filing and filing. Because if I had the authority to do it, I'll shut it down. But we don't have that authority.
I understand what you're saying, but I have called EPA and they cannot give me anyone to speak to, so.
That's
can
not,
can I say,
No,
can I say
now-
something?
wait a minute, it's online. You got to file a complaint online, writing. You go to the EP website and you go to the public health website, there are websites where you actually physically file a complaint. And that's where it will be addressed. Take all your evidence, tell them what you like you telling us, you go straight to EPA and public health for that. If I was EPA, I would hear you and understand, because I have experienced some of what you have in my neighborhood. And believe me, the residents are fighting it. And the way they fight it, filing complaints.
And I
That's
will,
the only thing that I can tell
Can I-
you.
Chris has a question.
I only talk to my neighbors that's right there in my area. I can go all over Drexel here and get people to sign it, because you can smell it everywhere. It's not just us, but we're getting the brunt of it. We're right there.
You need that complaint.
and I want to add, when you do that, start documenting dates,
Yes.
times,
It's gonna ask you.
in create, again, neighborhood association. And I will add that previously, you know, I'm a third generation resident of Jefferson. I lived out on Tucson I'm third generation owner of my house. Early 2000s, when it was permafix, I was a part of the neighborhood group that fought back when the U.S. Army was trying to bring the VX hydrolysate to that location. And they had no evacuation plan. There was nothing. They just were going to dump it there and leave us to figure it out on our own. But I said that to say this. Reach out to Congressman Mike Turner, your local elected officials. They have more power, more influence. They can manage those things. And if it comes to health issues, reach out to your local universities. I work at Central State. We have a water and soil research department, as well as University of Dayton, as well, to get those things, that evidence that you need in terms of health and impact.
How can I bottle up the air?
It's not about.
It's not about that, because what happens, not to get into science, but when these things happen, if there is actual pollution, like he said, those things push down and they disperse into the air. If it's really contaminating, it's going to be tested in the soil.
Yeah.
All they need is a soil sample. And they can
Yeah,
come
too.
in and they have monitors and readers that can do those things. But the thing is, you have to know how to fight back, and you have to start with your elected officials, because they're going to be the ones that's really going to fight for you.
That's the reason I'm here now, but like I say, we never get a notice on nothing that ever goes on down there.
Right. Just like the East Palestine stuff, I recently found out about that it was being treated at Valacor. And so those are things that you have to be able to organize. You had this relationship with your neighbors, and you don't have to get online to call Congressman Turner if you don't have those computer skills. I understand that, so everybody doesn't have the computer skills or the access to the Wi-Fi. He has a phone number you can call
And you can write.
Well,
and write a letter.
I want to make one thing clear.
We do need to,
I don't have a problem with this fellow
Right.
here. I don't even have a problem with Valspar. They're a business, they're, I've worked all my life, I know what that's about. I'm concerned about me and my neighbors
Right.
and our health.
Mhm.
I can understand they've got to do a business, but they've taken everything from us. Give us something back.
Right.
I mean, look what we got to look at, look what we have to smell.
well, I believe the
Our
applicant,
houses is not even worth anything, they took it all from us.
I believe the applicant's trying to
To help
improve
that. Improve that.
the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
I think
The
that's
older
the whole
anyway.
point of the application in the first place.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Can I talk for just 30 seconds?
Sure,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Here's my name and my personal cell number. Give me a call. I will talk to you.
Well, we would, whenever I talk, I'm speaking, like I say, my neighbors are old. They're most of them, I'm 68 years old myself, and most of them older than I am.
I'm 65, so I know what it's like. I don't move as fast. So, couple quick things. We get visited by the EPA regularly. They're surprise, unannounced visits. It's the states and the feds. We also get visited by Montgomery County water people constantly. So we have a ton of inspections. I guarantee you, I'm not gonna falsify data or lie and risk going to jail. There ain't no way, okay?
Well, you might be different than other owners who've been there before, but we've not experienced that.
Well, that's why they
I sit
recruited
there
me to come
sit
out here,
there
okay?
And watch EPA pull up, have to go in and get signed up while people's walking back through there to turn the valves off.
Our processes, for the most part, are what we call continuous processes. Once we start it up, it's gotta run. If we shut it down, we'll damage equipment. So, normal day-to-day stuff, truck comes in, we unload it to a tank, we take the tank, and the large tanks, and we feed it to our process equipment, okay? I guarantee we can't shut stuff down. And by the time they come out,
I'm not asking you not to do your work, I'm
I
asking you to make it
understand,
livable for us.
And that's what this
And I'm
stack
hoping
is.
that
That's what
this
the stack is
staff
supposed to
will
do.
that, okay? We're spending over $1 million on this. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna have a lot of questions to answer too, okay?
Right.
Because I put my name on it,
And what we're gonna do as far as what we have to look at here, you want to
okay? You talked about, I didn't hear exactly what you said, sitting back, or you said a wall or some bushes or something like that.
Well,
Give me a
Some kind
call.
of landscaping.
And I'm not against planting some trees and stuff like that. That's not a problem. Trees are very inexpensive, okay, compared to everything else that we do every day.
I mean, now you say you've been there for a year, and I know what they've been there for 4 years, so within that 4 years, I've asked for landscaping.
Well, Valacor's only owned the company for 2 years, okay? So you were dealing with John Staton, who I'm hoping is going to jail, but we will take care of that. You also said that you call the plant, there's no one there. We are required by law to have people there 24/7.
No, I didn't call and say that nobody
Okay,
said,
then I
I said,
misunderstood you.
I said, I called the claim hotline, and all they do is they say, they ask, it was a smell. I said, were you
You can do like 8
I
hours now. That's the
And I did upset with them. Okay, the smell might go away for a half an hour, and then it's right back again. And like I say, it's mostly on the weekends, the holidays, and in the evenings.
Weekends and holidays, we're at half production, so we should have leftovers in college. So I'll figure it out.
Can we resume the meeting here?
Go
I
ahead.
don't mean to break this up. We're discussing a lot of things here that don't really pertain to the case at hand.
This case.
Just give me a call tomorrow when you get back home, and you can come out to the plant, I'll walk you through it, whatever you wanna do, okay?
And can we get your contact information, ma'am?
Ma'am,
Ma'am?
Ma'am.
Can we get your contact information?
Miss Linda Rickett.
I really want you to understand
We all want
the
the same
out
thing you
that
want.
you have by going through the complaint process. This is not the place for what she's saying. You really need to learn how to file a complaint for public health and for EPA. And that's what the neighbors can do at this point in time. It's not gonna change what they doing, but if you can get people to look at what is happening in your neighborhood, you really gotta go to the AP and tell them you wanna know how to file a complaint. Go to public health and tell them you wanna know how to file a complaint. And everything you presented, that's where you put it at. take your pictures, take your list, and they will even walk you through and show you what you want. Because that's where you having the disconnect for your issues.
Well, the
And
reason I
he's
come
willing
here
to work
today
with
is
you.
because I thought maybe the zoning was gonna be changed.
Right.
Like I said.
No, we don't have any control over the
No,
zoning.
I'm saying,
It's just,
And, I thought with the conditional use, you know, if they're gonna bring in, you know, something more hazardous than what's already there.
If there was gonna be a change to the zoning, that would go through the zoning commission, which is a different board.
Well, it said come from the zoning department, so that's why I
There's
was
two,
afraid
there's
that-
two departments, there's
This
the
is
zoning commission and the
appeals.
board of zoning appeals.
but Karen can explain all of that to you. She can help you with that.
The letters that are sent out is the information that we are required to give. That's why if you have concerns or questions, you come to these meetings.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
We'll be in
coming,
touch.
thank you for coming out,
Yeah,
ma'am, and
thank
expressing
you.
your concerns.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we go ahead and vote on the case with a,
Make a motion to approve the increase in staff.
Well-
Has it been seconded?
that's what we're talking about. How much of an area did we cover? What kind of trees, how tall are the trees? That's gonna be kind of, like I said, they're gonna do it anyway.
What is it? It could be
So, request. I'm here for that.
We're gonna make 60 of
I
them.
know.
All right, I make a motion that we approve the application with the condition that trees of sufficient height and evergreen be planted to help shield the stack from the neighbors in question.
Second.
Well, this is not just a stack, the whole, you can look at the pictures, I mean, the whole plant there,
Yeah.
shows the whole block.
That's over.
That's where,
That's a much larger project.
The
Yeah.
stacks can be behind buildings and things, so you won't.
she's talking beautification.
Let me talk with her.
The
we
stack
can
is
look
set,
at some-
you can see right there where the,
Some
that
Yes.
picture right there, right there where
Yes.
the point is.
I don't have it
That
in
is
front,
the
but I
very
looked
front,
at it.
Right there, right as the road.
This the stack right here?
You said it's sitting right there where it started.
No, that is
can,
the
can you
side- that
come
is the
and,
side view.
can you come up and show us?
Right here, you see that, this right here is the street, right here is where they're putting that stack is, where's that
Oh,
back
so it's
there
not-
somewhere?
That's not correct.
'Cause I was gonna say, something's being
That's where
replaced,
the
right?
forms are, that's where you poured concrete today.
Just give me a minute.
There's currently already a stack that's there, so they're just making it larger. We're
They
just
just
starting
put
again.
these two here, these are brand new.
These are gonna be torn down.
Those are
You
silos,
just put those down.
Yes, ma'am, we did.
but.
So this is the
Okay,
current
right
silo,
here,
this is
right
the current stack, correct?
No, this is a side view, this is coming off of Bronson Avenue, this is
No,
coming on
this
the
is,
side.
yeah, one of them's a stack and one of them's a silo.
Okay, so
Okay,
this
look
is.
right here, what are you doing right here?
Okay,
Here's
so,
your guys working, this is
Correct,
this is
correct,
my
just-
yard right here.
I'm
And that's-
fully aware.
Hold on, hold on,
Just
hold
give
on.
me the pictures here so I can show you where we're at. When I got to the facility, these tanks were already built and constructed.
They've been in there probably less than a year.
No, they had to be more than years, I've been here. The pad for these was not built properly. So I went back to our engineers and said, hey, in my opinion, if we use these, this concrete can fail. We got an engineering company out there and they agreed. So we never put these in service.
They're just sitting there.
We're in a process now that you can't really tell of disassembling the internals of them. This new pad is where these two tanks are gonna be rebuilt.
So it's right here in front, right
where's
here,
the
right here in
proposed-
my yard, right
where's
there.
the
that
proposed
is.
stack?
We have no control over
Where's
this
what?
right now. We're looking for the actual
Where's the
stacks.
stack going in?
This is the I believe I believe it's the current stack right here. So it's gonna be here,
Right here is the whole thing.
behind the new tanks.
Where's the top-down map?
Okay, so what are we, I know we discussed it, but where is, here's
Yeah,
my,
there- there-
here's,
This isn't
here's my
36
thing
feet.
that
Is that 36?
I think we are
maybe
kinda
it could
getting
be.
off track,
this
and
is the
maybe I'm
stack.
wrong.
Correct?
Yeah,
These are your homes across the street, correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Here.
she wants beautification.
Are there trees that can be planted in this area here, across the front?
Sure.
You don't hardly have
These two
anything
new
here.
tanks here are gonna be put right here, and it's gonna block the stack.
Block the stack. The stack is still 80 feet.
Correct, it has to be high.
How tall are these tanks?
Well, 40 feet? I'm guessing, yes, something.
Okay, just give
as a reference, you know.
40 to 60.
So I mean, obviously, we're not talking about covering up the whole plant with greenery, but maybe just in this area.
Okay, can I make a
I'm more than happy to
proposal?
plant trees, but
I'm
what's gonna happen, that's not gonna make her happy.
I'm aware of that.
Okay, okay.
I'm aware of that.
Well, I want
just
something,
thinking
I
something
mean,
like
would
street
you wanna come out your front door and say that? Would you want your
Okay, can I
But at the
make,
end of the,
can
but
I
you have
make
to understand, the
can I
plant's not
make
gonna
a,
close.
I'm not asking
Yeah,
for the plant to
but it's
close.
gonna be there, but what we're saying is, if these are the houses, what I would like to see is the trees just coming across here.
Yes.
Not
Together.
all up in here, because at least there's that.
Here would block
Yes,
the
sir.
view
I mean,
more.
you're not that, you look here, you don't even have that much grass area. You're all removed all the way out here.
Right.
Right here's the road, this is all in the grass area. You got anywhere in this area that covers all that stuff.
Right.
I make a
And I'm not
proposal
talking
that.
Hold on, everybody cannot talk at the same time.
Hold on, don't.
No, I'm
That's,
sick.
I don't think that's fair. I mean, without,
I'm not feeling
I'm a
good and I
landscaper by
don't
trade.
have patience.
I'm a
Right, that's what
landscaper
I'm
by
saying.
trade. But I don't know distance, I don't know.
At the end of the day, hold on, I'm sorry, can we get, excuse me, can we get control again?
Yeah, we need to get.
Because at the end of the day, what we are talking about is voting
height of a
on the
stack.
height of a stack.
Correct.
We're not gonna change anything, whether we vote yay or nay, they're still gonna be here.
Correct.
Yeah,
And the
I
odor's gonna be strong.
And the condition that you're talking about is a beautification program.
Exactly.
That they need to get together with the neighbors to determine what they want.
Right.
And I would propose that.
Yes.
They get way big around and they get way tall and they grow fast.
Okay, well, I think that's a separate discussion.
Yeah. But we're not finished talking, we're gonna keep
I
talking.
appreciate that, but yeah. I think
You have
that's a
your
separate
contact
discussion.
information,
Did you
and we're gonna
understand?
continue this conversation, okay?
So we're not gonna get any trees cut.
No, we're getting trees.
Beautification program based on you and the neighbors and him getting together. So that's where your trees and whatever else you want, y'all get together, talk with him, and y'all determine tree height and all that. Let that be right
Right.
here between y'all,
Gotcha, yeah.
okay?
They don't have.
That's the
That's
condition.
okay, but we have no control.
Well,
We're just here for the staff. We're just here for the staff.
the project,
All we can do is,
we'll talk about that when
Yeah.
we do the project.
for real, that's what he said.
Okay. I second them, yeah.
We still got one more thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
there's
one
another.
thing to do.
Lord Jesus.
I think we need to just vote too.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's vote. Yeah, I make a motion that we vote, yes is in favor, no is not in favor.
Of what?
With the
Of the
conditions.
80s.
I would say with the
Of
conditions.
the application
stack.
as,
Okay,
of
we
the
have the
application as it stands.
Wait, is this with the condition? Is the condition going to be?
With the conditions.
The conditions get kind of,
No,
Well,
it's
that's
not.
between them.
but if you make it broad, then it's
No,
very broad.
I disagree. I propose that we make a condition that they do beautification by sitting down and talking with the residents in the area and talking with the company and let them determine the beautification that they need for their neighborhood.
But he's already said he's going
Yeah, he's-
Right,
yes.
right, we're just trying to get it. It doesn't need, okay, that's.
I don't think we
Okay.
need to make that a
It doesn't
condition.
need condition?
No.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's, if we try to attach it to the
That's what I
application,
did
it's too
not
broad.
understand.
Yeah.
It's not, it's too broad.
All right.
Yes.
Margaret Woods,
No.
Jeanette Gibson,
Yes.
Carissa Brown,
Yes.
Jocelyn Harris.
Yes.
All right. That case is passed.
Do we have to
Thank you
second
for coming
that?
out, sir.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, we
I
have
thought
to
we only
approve-
had
have to approve the minutes.
Approve the minutes. I understand that, believe me, that's how I was the first hour, like, they killed us.
We still have to,
Okay, can we continue to, yes.
hey Karen, can we,
Yes, this,
Oh.
do we need her permission? Oh,
she keeps track of minutes.
gotcha.
We're approving the year's minutes.
Okay, I read through all of them, our cases.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Thank you, sir, for coming out. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have will reach out to her. I don't know if I can ever make her totally
That's
happy,
okay.
but
No.
I would definitely
Reach
try.
out to
Yeah.
the
Any efforts you
residents.
make would be appreciated.
I don't want her just,
Yeah.
Feeling.
sad.
Right.
Right, right.
Appreciate it.
Reach out
Thank
to the
you.
residents. We
Merry Christmas.
appreciate that.
Yeah, Merry
Thank you,
Christmas.
Karen, because I thought we had to have a condition.
Yes, I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I second it.
Gibson.
Okay.
And we're referring specifically to, well, where'd it go? Where's the agenda?
We started
It's all over the
Where
place
your
now.
pictures at?
the
I
original
got
one.
mixed in.
They're all
right
mixed
there.
in.
Oh, we gotta go through each one on that sheet, don't we?
No,
Okay.
No.
Just to prove the
it's just
minutes.
the minutes, all the minutes from 2024.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Basically what you said, we approve the minutes. I'll read them for you. It's gonna be approval of BZA minutes, February 15th, 2024,
I got it.
April 18th, 2024, September 19th, 2024, and the last one we had was November 20th, 2024. So that's what you're going to be approving.
All right,
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion for a roll call.
Luke Dickerson,
Yes.
Margaret Woods,
Yes.
Jeanette Gibson,
Yes.
Carissa Brown,
Abstain.
and Jocelyn.
Abstain.
Because you guys weren't.
You guys weren't here.
Yeah. No, no, I did not read
It
it.
only takes three.
Right, that's why I was like, you standing out.
Okay.
All right, I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second it.
Did they were here,
Do you
did
have
y'all have any, I
questions?
guess you didn't have anything to
I'll
say.
just-
You have,
No,
okay.
oh,
Sorry, we kind of.
Zoning Commission.
oh,
Oh,
so they-
okay.
their
Okay,
meeting is
and you
next.
too?
And we are running late, so
Oh.
Yeah, we way past
Oh,
we're
that.
trying to
oh.
move things along.
That's why I got frustrated.
All right,
and my
motion
medicine
to
was-
adjourn.
Second.
Yes.
Margaret Woods,
Yes.
Jeanette Gibson,
Yes.
Carissa Brown,
Yes.
Jocelyn Harris.
Yes.
Merry Christmas and
Happy Christmas to you.